What is Donald Trump's idea and plan for a peace in Ukraine? We have some first thoughts on this by Trump himself, but also his VP nominee and candidate, JD Vance. Let's find out. Hello, everybody. My name is Stavros. I'm a professor of international relations and a democracy advocate. You're with me on Black Flag Media. We're raising the black for independent analysis and political commentary on what's happening around the world. We have been speaking in the language of freedom, democracy, and peace, and this is what we're going to be doing today. So we're trying to understand what's going to be the plan that the Trump administration, if they do win this November, they're going to be trying to push forward in Ukraine, in the war between Russia and Ukraine. So I want to talk about what JD Vance had to say about this, and we'll try to decipher what the new administration, if indeed they win, they're going to be doing about it. So JD Vance, again, he's the running mate for Trump. He was asked about what the ultimate peace deal would look like if Trump was elected, and he, in a sense, was sharing the thoughts that aligned with Vladimir Putin's idea of a ceasefire, which is interesting to say the least. So he did say, and I quote, "What it probably looks like is something like the current line of demarcation between Russia and Ukraine becomes like a demilitarized zone, heavily fortified for the Russians don't invade again." So they are saying that, what the Russians have occupied and they have won in the field of battle, they will keep that. So they will keep parts of, obviously, Crimea, parts of Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson oblasts, meaning regions, and they're not going to be giving anything back if Trump and JD Vance are elected, apparently. He also continued by saying, he added that Ukraine should remain and will remain an independent sovereign nation. Russia gets the guarantee of neutrality from Ukraine. It does not join NATO and some other allied institutions, and Germans and other nations have to fund Ukraine's reconstruction. This is interesting for many reasons. First and foremost, it says right here that basically all of Russia's goals will be achieved in this peace deal or plan, as JD Vance explains it. So Ukraine will remain neutral. It will not have any. It will not store any NATO missiles or nukes, as Zelensky wished or dreamed. And also the Europeans, meaning us, I'm living in Greece, which is a member of the EU, will have to pay the bill for this adventurism. This I wouldn't say it's U.S. adventurism. It's more of a neocon adventurism. The people controlling the Barack Obama administration, the Biden administration, from 2014, they created this whole mess, and everybody should be asking themselves, why did we need this war then, if this is what it's going to look like after the Republicans take over? So what about Trump? What did he say? And so, obviously JD Vance gave us some insights, but he is not Trump. And, that Trump doesn't care about what other people think. He's more of a I rule guy by myself. Nobody should influence me or, dictate what I should be doing. I know what's best for everything, I guess. Is that kind of guy, you know what I mean? So he did have two chances was given to Trump in the ABC debate between him and Kamala Harris to respond to this question and actually, clearly state that he is in favor of Ukraine, that he's clearly in favor of Ukraine winning the war. So in both of these instances, he tried to dodge the question. He didn't say that I want Ukraine to win, and he didn't say that, yes, I think that it's in the best interest of the U.S. That Ukraine wins. So so specifically, the journalist asked him, the ABC, one of the two panelists, he asked Donald Trump, just to clarify the question, do you believe it's in the U.S.'s best interest for Ukraine to win this war? Yes or no? This was like a softball. And Trump, again, he refused to, say yes. He said, I think, and I quote, I think it's in the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done. All right, negotiate a deal because we have to stop all of these human lives from being destroyed. So clearly here, he is saying, I'm not for Ukraine winning, and in my best interest, according to my thinking, our country should not be paying for this mess. We should be extricating ourselves financially, at least, from this mess. So he said that he should start negotiating a deal. He would not wait until his second term begins, meaning that as president-elect, beginning November, he would call Ukraine, Zelensky, he would call Putin, and he would tell them, uh, we need to sell this. This is a war that's dying to be settled. We need to work on this. And also, what was interesting was the fact that he actually mentioned something that the Democrats are voting and are dodging and tiptoeing around it, the fact of the Russians having nukes. And he did mention that. I don't know why the Democrats are avoiding that. This is clearly warmongering from their behalf to not, speak the word of truth regarding the threat of going mad. This is what international relations we call of mutually assured destruction, MAD, because if one side has nukes and the other side has nukes, it's a mutual assured destruction for both sides. So why are they not touching on this issue? So Trump did, and he said that, you know what? Putin's got a thing that others don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. And he said that they don't even talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. Yes, he's right. We should be talking about that. This is not something to avoid or ignore. This is the huge elephant and gorilla in the room, and we should be talking about that. And this is interesting because it seems that if he follows that path of approach towards Ukraine, it seems that he will move away from the Reagan doctrine, of intervention, the so-called Republican foreign policy doctrine of intervention. This is good, I guess. This is this Republican approach of invading and being strong by the use of force or the threat of use of force. The Reagan doctrine is dead, and it's dead because of the multipolarity of the world and because people, we have the ability to educate ourselves and inform ourselves about what's going on all around the world right now. So nobody should be promoting a war over peace. So this Reagan doctrine, this neocon doctrine, which we can find in both Republicans and Democrats, should be dead. If you ask the people of this world, it should be dead. Also, finally, we have Zelensky visiting the U.S. for the UN General Assembly meeting, the annual meeting, and he's going to be meeting with both Biden and Harris, but also Trump. And allegedly, Zelensky is going to be sharing his thoughts on what should be a victory plan for Ukraine, which is a joke because Ukraine cannot win against nuclear power. So everybody's talking about it, and they're taking it seriously, which is also a joke, and they're fooling themselves or the public by taking it seriously. Ukraine cannot win against a nuclear power. So interesting though, Trump, he said he had some bad things to say about Zelensky because Zelensky visited Pennsylvania. There is a factory there that produces some shells that the Ukrainian army is using, but also Pennsylvania is a swing state, and actually Biden won Pennsylvania by 80,000 votes the previous election cycle, and Trump lost, and now there are many Polish Americans in the state. So Trump is afraid of the Ukrainian president visiting this swing state, and he actually said that Zelensky wants Kamala Harris to win so badly, as he specifically said, and quote, he said, "I see Zelensky is here, and I think Zelensky is the greatest salesman in history. Um, Every time he comes into the country, he hooks away with $60 billion. He wants them, the Democrats, to win this election so badly, but I would do it differently. I will work out peace." Again, Zelensky is visiting the ammunitions factory, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and raising Republican alarms, as you can see. Also, the Republican candidate, Trump, he said that, yes, if he wins the election, he reiterated what we said before, that the first thing, quote, "the first thing I'm going to do is call up Zelensky and call up President Putin. And I'm going to say, you got to make a deal. This is crazy." Also, interestingly, Zelensky, in a sense, said that he's trying to get a good deal from Biden and Harris before the elections in case something goes bad and Trump wins. So he's playing favorites, as you can see, without specifically mentioning Trump. He did say, though, during an interview, Vladimir Zelensky, he said that if Western partners really want Ukraine to win the war, they have to do everything they can to help Kyiv win. Today, while all the officials who want the victory of Ukraine are in official positions, meaning that Biden is an official position, so the Democrats are the ones that want Ukraine to win, and if that changes, Republicans take over, according to this statement of Zelensky, he wouldn't have the support that he has right now by the by the Democrat White House. So he's trying to make time for this victory deal. What is still perplexing to me, while Zelensky is truly enjoying the support of the Biden administration, the full support of the Democrats, I think that nothing will actually change, even in the with the Republican administration. Let me remind you of a statement that Senator Lindsey Graham shared when he was in Ukraine, but also he shared these thoughts on some TV panels that he has been speaking to. He said that we cannot abandon Ukraine because the Ukrainians are sitting on a rich field of minerals worthy of trillions of dollars, and we need these minerals. We cannot let Putin get his hands on these these minerals worth of trillions of dollars. So obviously he's talking about natural stones and energy, fields beneath Ukraine, and mainly resources that the U.S. needs, the U.S. factories and the war industry need. So even if Republicans win, I guess, even though we explained what J.D. Vance said and what Trump is implying, I think that they're going to keep supporting Ukraine in this war, but in a different way, in the sense that instead of giving handouts and giveaways and donating money and arms to the Ukrainians, they will start selling them, or they would basically creating a huge debt for Ukraine by loaning this money. And guess what? The Europeans would have to again pay that bill. So they would create again a protectorate in Ukraine, but it would be like under specific agreements. They would have exclusive rights. The U.S. would have exclusive rights to the natural resources, the minerals that Ukraine has, and they would be in their debt. So I guess this is the idea. Nothing will change at the end. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. This is it for today. In a sense, we're seeing the continuation of the U.S. foreign policy. We saw that in many ways during the first Trump administration. There is really, the bureaucracy, the army, the intelligence services, all of these people, the bureaucrats, are providing this so-called continuation in the U.S. state. So nothing will change at the end of the day, but things will be really, really hard, and for the worse, specifically for Zelensky and his team. Again, guys, keep raising the black. Fight for freedom, fight for democracy, and fight for peace and justice.